Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme: Celtic make it through to the semi-finals of the League Cup with a narrow 2-0 win over Alloa. It's Aberdeen against St Johnstone this evening. Martin Canning reckons Ali Crawford may have to leave Hamilton Accies to achieve his dream of getting a cap for Scotland. And Joey Barton says he's looking forward to returning to Rangers at the end of his ban. Just a few of the talking points in the company of, as ever, Alan Ruff, and our Bootroom guest tonight is Mark Guidi. So, lots to talk about. Let's cut to the chase on the game. Celtic Alloa. I thought Alloa deserved all the praise. A superb performance. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be easy for Celtic, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought it was going to be 4 or 5, but I mean, they did have 23 shots at goal, you know, not all on target obviously, but I think all credit must go to Alloa and the manager in particular, the way he set his stall out. The players obviously went about their business and made it difficult for Celtic, but obviously they got the 2 goals late on, but no, I think that would be something that Alloa could build on for the rest of the season.
You'll appreciate this, Mark. They went into the game with only 1 defeat in 12, but of course when you have your goalie, you know, easily by a mile the man of the match, Neil Parry, he just produced save after save.
Yeah, I mean, it was no great surprise in terms of, you know, as you say, that the record that Alloa had getting into the game, Peter. I think he'd only conceded 9 goals as well, so you knew you had to produce something special to beat Neil Parry. The boys in front, it took Celtic into about 11-12 minutes to go. They got the 2 goals, and Alloa felt as though that Craig Gordon should have been given a red card in the second half as well for a foul on Greg Spence. So over the piece, all the plaudits go to Alloa. Terrific display over 90 minutes, and again it just reaffirms the point that a lot of people hold within the game, is that Jack Ross, with all respect to Alloa, Jack Ross has got to move to a bigger club in him sooner rather than later. Yeah,
he's certainly got them well organised. I'll talk about Jack Ross in a moment, Ruffy, but you know, I think Greg Spence was, you know, smashed, to put it mildly, by Craig Gordon. I was absolutely gobsmacked he stayed on the park. Lucky man, and off the back of that as well, Craig Gordon, you could tell he was like a little bit tense about this new distribution of the ball. He wants to try and impress. There were times when he punched and you looked a bit nervy.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when the pressure's put upon you, you know, and I have to say, and I've said it all along, that I didn't think he should have been dropped as quickly as what he had been, but he's obviously worked on, you know, the distribution. But in saying that, you know, when you're in the first team and you're in there week in, week out, and then you're left out, you've got to prove yourself when you come back in. Every minute is a test for you now, because people are actively watching, you know, waiting on you making a mistake before they start assessing what you're doing. Unfortunately, I said all along, I didn't think it was the kicking was Craig's problem. I thought it was maybe reading the game, you know, for balls coming over the top and reading what's happening left and right. And again, last night, he made a wee bit of a mess of it, and it's not the first time he's come out of the edge of the 18-yard box and made a rash challenge. So maybe that's something he just has to work on. But it doesn't matter who you are. You know, if you're putting the focus, you have to make sure that everything you do is spot on, or people are going to pick wee holes in it.
I still think he's a better keeper, Mark.
Yeah, I agree with Alan. You know, I think that he should still be the Celtic goalkeeper. I'm not convinced with Doris de Vries at all, but Brendan Rodgers has worked with him. He also had 6 weeks to work with Craig Gordon and assess him, and if he thought that Craig Gordon was, you know, undisputed number 1 and could do exactly what he wanted to do, he wouldn't have brought Doris de Vries in. So clearly I think it's now goes without saying Doris de Vries is a Celtic number 1, and he has the full backing of Brendan Rodgers. I'm
surprised St Mirren don't push the boat out for Jack Ross, Ruffy, because Mark was glowing in his praise of him, and I think the one thing about the players they're talking about, he's well organised, he's absolutely clued up. We had Graham Holmes in here talking about the fact that his individual one-to-one management, his style, everything impresses.
Yeah, I think at this moment in time, I think he's maybe been a bit unfortunate where St Mirren is, because St Mirren have, apart from Tommy Craig, have taken in managers who looked as if they were on the ladder to go high. You know, Gary Teal got a shot and it never worked. So the new owner, excuse me, depends on, you know, what he's looking for. Is he looking for experience? Is he looking for that young manager to come in? Remember, Jackie McNamara was getting job. Archibald was getting, all the young managers were getting a chance. It just depends on the mindset of this new owner, you know, what he's actually looking for. But Jack Ross has done nothing wrong any time we've had him in the show. He's been fantastic. Any of the players that we've had in, I think he's great to work under. So I don't think it would be a bad move.
Yeah. How important is it, Mark Guidi, for Aberdeen to secure the place minimum semi-final? Because, again, the pressure will intensify on them in the league, especially on Sunday against Rangers. But I think Derek McInnes is looking for silverware to buy him a bit more time again.
Yeah, you know, he won the League Cup in his first season, Aberdeen's first piece of silverware in, 20 years, Peter? So, yeah, he's had a taste of it, the clubs have a taste of it, and he wants it. Again, massive game for them tonight, massive 72 hours for them. But I think that Derek was being absolutely genuine when he said, give me a League Cup semi-final place over 3 points on Sunday. I think, you know, that they believe that they can go and win this silverware. I was at St Johnstone Hearts on Saturday. Hearts unlucky to lose the game, but St Johnstone have got something about them. Peter, they're strong, they're rigid, know what to do. McLean up front with Cummins, you know, both about a handful. They've been round the block. I've tipped St Johnstone to win the League Cup, so I'm going to have to tip a St Johnstone victory tonight. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aberdeen maybe do it after extra time.
See that kind of punditry, Ruffy's tipped St Johnstone to win the League Cup.
Well,
Have you made a decision yet, or do you want to wait till the final?
No, I'm going for Aberdeen.
You know, I didn't want to push you in the earlier rounds. I know what you're like.
No,
Wait to half time in the final.
Or extra time. Or maybe penalties. No, Aberdeen for me, I think they're beginning. The wee boy Hayes back again. Made a few things happen at the weekend, and I like the boy Stockley. I think he's sort of an Adam Rooney, but he's scoring goals and the confidence is there. And I think they've nearly got everybody back to full force, and no, I think they'll win tonight.
And as you mentioned there, it's such a big week for Aberdeen because suddenly it's the return of a game that sometimes I think we're guilty of building it up for all the negative elements on it, Mark, when we really should be looking at it for the positive of two good teams going head to head in Aberdeen Rangers. There's extra police being brought into this one because of what's gone before.
Yeah, well, you can understand that, you know, bearing in mind, Peter, the recent incidents at the Scottish Cup final, Rangers and Hibs, the Old Firm game a few weeks ago, that, you know, the police can't take any chances, our authorities can't take any chances, or they'll get hammered if they miss them. So hopefully the 22,000 supporters that go along on Sunday will go there to enjoy the game, and there'll be a bit of banter, a bit of rivalry, of course, but don't overstep the mark. Whether your team loses a game, wins a game, enjoy it for what it is. Two good footballing teams. It would be great to see Derek McInnes and Mark Warburton go head to head for the first time. Rangers hitting a bit of form. We don't know how Aberdeen will get on tonight, but they got a good victory at the weekend against Dundee. You know, the Madison, the middle of the park, good signing for them. Goalkeeper looks steady as well, and Rooney and Hayes. So I think the game on Sunday will be an absolute cracker. And I think if Rangers have to have aspirations of not winning the league, Peter, but of finishing second, which I think is a realistic target for them, that's a game that Mark Warburton and these players should not be losing.
Yeah, are you picking Rangers to finish second in the league?
Well, yeah, I'd have to go with Rangers.
Yeah, it's got the makings of a great one. Here's how it fits into the fixtures over the weekend, Ruffy. Of course, Aberdeen Rangers is on the Sunday with Hamilton against St Johnstone. 4 games on the Saturday, which we'll be covering 2 o'clock on STV. Celtic Kilmarnock, Hearts Ross County, Inverness Cali Thistle against Dundee, and Partick Thistle against Motherwell. In a strange sort of way, I think, you know, there's more pressure, amazingly, on Mark Warburton on this one because there's been 2 big games, failed in the game against Celtic. This one is another real test.
Yeah, I think the Queen of the South game, give him a wee bit of breathing space. Not a lot, because obviously everybody would expect for Rangers to win at home. The scoreline was good for the confidence in the dressing room, but the Aberdeen game's a big one. You know, that's the one you set your standards by, and they'll go into that game. And as Mark said, it's a tie of the weekend for me.
Yeah, I don't like to dwell too much on this story because it's only been going for about 12 days now. Joey Barton, he's been launching the book around the country. His appearance in Glasgow was cancelled for safety reasons, but he's continually, when interviewed in the media in the last 24 hours, said that he's looking forward to going back. He wants to go back to Rangers after the ban. I can't see it, Mark.
No, I think they'll have to come to some kind of agreement, Peter. If you take a yardstick from the Rangers supporters that you speak to, they're finished with him. most of them don't appear to have any time for him now. So in order for Joey Barton to resurrect his career at Rangers, first of all, there's a grovelling apology to the dressing room, to his manager, to Rangers supporters, and then there's performances on the park if he gets into the team. Is he capable of doing all of that? No.
OK, short and sharp, there you have it. More opinion from Mark Guidi and Alan Rough after the break. Welcome back to Peter and Ruffy's football show, and our bootroom guest is Mark Guidi. He's with us. Of course, the semi-final could have 3 Premiership teams and Morton by the end of tonight. Will it be Aberdeen or St Johnstone? We'll find that out. And then they make the draw right after the game, and then it's all up for grabs. Who's going to get the first piece of silverware? Incidentally, do you think, are you tipping St Johnstone to win the cup as well, Mark?
Yeah. On this programme, Peter.
Yep.
First week in August, you asked for our tips, and I took St Johnstone for the League Cup.
Yep.
I went for Morton right at the start.
Yeah. I remember writing it down, Ruffy, that you went for Morton.
He's been really impressed with Benny Rooney.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's how much he's got his finger on the pulse. You'll never know. Anyway, let's crack on with some other performances that have caught the eye. I mean, although they didn't get the result that we're looking for against Motherwell, Ali Crawford scored 2 cracking goals. He's a young man who's been overlooked time and time again when I thought maybe clubs would take a gamble on him. And Martin Canning has mentioned earlier today that he thinks he may well have to leave Accies to achieve his dream of getting a Scotland cap, Mark.
Yeah, I would agree with what Martin Canning says. But first of all, he has to find a club willing to buy him.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that clubs, you speak to scouts, you speak to coaches, managers, they're put off by his frame. He's slender, but he's strong, and he's brave, and technically he's very, very good. You look at the goals he scored, Peter. But I think he's got a move in him. I'd like to see him stay in Scotland. You look at some of the players that Rangers have bought this, and you think, I don't know what Hamilton would want from, would it be around about 500 grand?
Yeah.
And you think, I think he could help bring alive that Rangers team in the final third. But I hope, with all respect to Hamilton, I hope he gets a move. He deserves it.
Yeah, when we talk about the dearth of talent in our game, Ruffy, he certainly doesn't come into that category because he does have all the technical skills that we love watching.
And I would throw Aberdeen and Hearts into the hat as well. Not Mark said Rangers. I think crying out for a team like that. He's got everything. And okay, people say he's slight, but how many players have we seen leaving a club and for some reason they get built up, they do different training and they look bigger, better, stronger. But I give him more credit for Peter for actually being at Hamilton for the length of time he's there. He's the kind of player, and I witness it myself, every year somebody moves.
Yeah.
To another club, a bigger club, and he's sitting there knowing the ability that he's got. And he must be saying to himself at some time, well, this year it must be me. I'm going to move on somewhere and know it's somebody else. So all credit to him for having his head screwed on the right way and giving 100% at every game. His time will come. He's got too much ability. No disrespect to Hamilton to be there for any longer than the next 2 years at least.
Yeah, if they can hold on to him for the year though, I think he could be crucial to them in Hamilton's bid to stay away from that drop zone again.
Yeah, I mean, you would imagine Hamilton to be bottom 3, bottom 4, Peter, and if they are to escape relegation, again, they really need to keep a guy like Ali Crawford, keep him at the club, because you know what you're going to get from him. You're going to get goals, you're going to get assists, brings him to life in the final third. You've got Dougie Imrie up there as well. Then you've got Darian McKinnon, you've got Mikey Devlin. I think they've got a terrific goalkeeper in Remy Matthews as well. So there's good players there, but certainly Martin Canning can't afford to lose anybody in January. If anything, he needs to supplement and Massimo Donati by bringing another couple in.
Yep, okay. As far as one club in the spotlight and one man in particular, let's focus our attention now on Kilmarnock because, again, we're well aware, Ruffy, on this programme that in the background there's, mayhem going on and a struggle for power. Michael Johnson doesn't want to let it go. I think he's been offered just short of $2 million to go, but he wants basically some agreement that he can stay for 3 years, even if he takes the money. And I think this is going on, and it's detrimental to the club.
Yeah, you can see the benefits. We saw it at Hearts and we've saw it to Rangers as well. To a certain extent, when you get the right people in there, you start moving in the right direction. Unfortunately for Kilmarnock, it's been rumbling on for far too long, and it's involved the fans as well. And obviously, you need to get it sorted out, because obviously, if everybody's talking about what's happening off the park rather than what's on the park, you know, it's not a very nice place to be about. But certainly, there are people at Kilmarnock who want to get in and take the club further. And the sooner they all come to some agreement and move on, the better for the club.
He just won't go at the moment. I mean, I would say he was one of the most unpopular people in Scotland at the moment, but I think Joey Barton's taken all the headlines on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, that would. But he's one of those chairmen that he seems, or one of those people on the board that seems to be, you know, able to shut himself off from all that's coming towards him as far as the fans are concerned.
Yeah, well, you know, Michael's a lawyer. That's his day job, and he's thick-skinned. Peter, you know, people would have left by now. They'd have taken the money, and they would have said bye-bye. Why he wants to still be involved when so many people want him out? There's no love for him at the club anymore, whether it be from supporters, or I don't think there's any love really for him from within the club. But for some reason, he wants to hang about. Listen, if somebody was offering me, you know, more than £1.5 million to get away from Kilmarnock, then I think he would take it. But we're not privy to the small print of the terms of what's involved. But I think for the good of Kilmarnock, and you've got to put the football club first, then maybe there should be a part in the ways. Yeah,
to be honest with you, Ralph, if somebody was offering me or you £1.5 million to actually go to Kilmarnock, we'd be down there. I'd be driving you down.
Yeah, well, I'd probably go. Yeah, tell you the truth. But as Mark said, there's a lot else going on there. You know, there are business people down there who actively want to take the club forward, but they have to come to some kind of agreement. But it's a start. You know, he's been offered something. You know, and there'll have to be negotiations in between. But I think at the end of the day, the best for all parties would be if he left.
Okay, we won't be on air tomorrow because, of course, it's the STV Children's Appeal. It's a full night with lots of activity going on. Lorraine Kelly and a host of stars raising money, of course, for a very, very worthy cause. But you can join us on the Saturday at 2 o'clock on STV Edinburgh, STV Glasgow. We'll bring you up to date with all the goals as they hit the back of the net across a 4-hour show. Hopefully you can join us for that. Gordon Smith, Ruffy and Frank McAvenny will be with us over the 4 hours to give their reaction to all the stories that have emerged over the course of the last week. And of course, this week, Hearts have opened a new museum, a chance for fans to go in and revel in some of the history of the club. I think, you know, this week, just looking at them from afar, they're starting to get things right. The new stand, you know, I think when that's finished as well, suddenly you're going to have a really good stadium, even more, you know, of a great atmosphere than it has at the moment.
They've got a really good owner in Anne Budge. She's forward-thinking, she's innovative, and she's been a great addition not only to Hearts, clearly, but to Scottish football. The club is moving in the right direction, there is no doubt about that. They've just appointed a new captain, Perry Kitchen, for on the park, and you know, I watched them on Saturday against St Johnstone. They didn't deserve to lose the game, but I think Hearts will be up there right to the very end of the season, Peter, vying for that second spot. You know, I think they'll improve month on month, and also I think they'll have a right good chance of the Scottish Cup as well.
Yeah, I've got them down to finish second, Ruffy. It was a bold statement. I think they had them to finish in the top 3 last season. Do you think Kitchen being appointed the captain is the end for us, Turk?
Possibly, you know, but again, you know, it might be a decision between the players. Maybe Ostock might be putting pressure on his game. You know, being a captain, wee things like that. He might have went to and said, "Look, I'd rather just concentrate on playing football rather than having that pressure on me."
Well, it gives you an indication of how strong they are now. He can't get in the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think John Souttar's been great for them. You think that they got him for the best part, 100 grand from Dundee United in January. He's really settled in, he's composed, and you know, he's really stiffened up that Hearts defence.
Yep, absolutely. So from there, a couple of things I want to get to before we finish. Of course, some really good games at the weekend. Of course, Rangers hit Queen of the South for 5, but suddenly it's Queen of the South Hibernian. I think that's going to be the key game as we have a look at the fixtures at the weekend in the Championship. It's just got the makings of a cracker.
It will be. Hibs' first defeat of the season last weekend. Queen of the South, top of the table. They'll be hurting after that 5-0 defeat at Ibrox during the week, but on their own patch on the 4G. Then you just couldn't rule them out. It'll be a full house at Palmerston, though, Peter. The atmosphere will be absolutely first class.
Yep, absolutely. Join us if you can on Saturday, not on tomorrow on the Peter and Ruffy Show. It's the STV Children's Appeal. So if you can, 2 o'clock, we'll be talking all things football. Thanks to Mark Guidi. Hope you have a great September weekend. If you are off Friday and Monday, then you are really lucky indeed. We are on Saturday and we'll be back with you on the September weekend Monday as well. From Ruffy, from Mark Guidi and myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching. Good night.